everyone. Ryan Young, Kama Jiu-Jitsu. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to answer another question from one of you subscribers, and I appreciate you sending these questions in because it helps us to continue to be able to produce content for you at a very good rate. You know, we've got well over 250 videos up online right now. You know, I've covered topics, basically covering almost everything having to do with Jiu-Jitsu. But you know, I don't know everything. I know a lot, but I don't know everything, so I can't possibly think of what you might want to hear about. So it really helps us, and it helps the rest of you when you send in a question as well. And you can simply do it under the comments for any video. Just make sure to create a new comment. Don't reply to an existing comment. If you create a new comment, it'll come to the top of my list when I pull comments down. So Naps Martial Arts Philosophy asked, Professor, what are your thoughts about martial arts falling to the wrong hands? I know it's very rare, but there are those who learn martial arts for the wrong reasons. Some people learn martial arts primarily to pick fights and beat people up for fun. Even though it's rare, it does happen. Please tell me your thoughts. That is a very, very good question. You know, the thing is, human beings are driven by power. I want to say humans by nature are not bad. It's just that it's easier to do bad, and it's easier to tolerate bad or look away from bad than it is to do good. Now, we may think good, but then again, if we see bad happening, most people, the vast majority of people, will ignore it and they'll just let it happen. And because they're afraid, and their thought process is, ooh, you know, that's a bad thing happening to that person. Ooh, I'd like to help them, but I'm really afraid. I don't want it to happen to me. So, in other words, sucks for you, but I'm going this way, even though your problem is that way. Right? It takes a rare person to have courage to look at that and not only feel that that's bad, but to go in and try to rectify the situation. That is so rare. So those people are what people in our group call the sheepdogs. You know, there aren't that many sheepdogs in the world, unfortunately, but there are a lot of evil people. But there are, you know, still a smaller number of evil people who actually act on the evil. So if you're a thief by nature, and you know, it's up to you to decide to steal. You have that small group of people that cannot help it, but most people who have thieving tendencies will just not do it. You know, they want to do it, they feel like doing it, but they just don't do it, they refrain. With regard to the martial arts and having it fall into the wrong hands, especially when you have people who learn martial arts to fight. I was in that group when I learned it. I really didn't learn it as a reason to defend myself. I learned it as a reason because I wanted to learn how to fight. I did have friends that I trained with that would go hit the clubs and would go to test it out, really, and go to fight. And Dave even mentioned there were people at Hicks's Academy that would do that as well. They would go hit the clubs and go look at somebody the wrong way, get the person to react and get into a fight so they can beat them up. You know, and I think because of that, a lot of martial artists and martial arts in general have a bad name because of those few people. Right? Just like how, you know, it's easier, the path seems easier to do evil than it is to do good, right? Think of when you have a riot, when you have a natural disaster that happens in a city. Or even simple as, you know, I just saw one on our local neighborhood Facebook page about somebody who had gotten evicted from their apartment and all their possessions were strewn out on the sidewalk because the sheriffs came in and, you know, they had everybody, you know, taking all that stuff out. People were rummaging through the stuff. Now, granted, your rationalization could be, well, you know, nobody's, you know, it's not, you know, they're not coming back for it. So, you know, if I don't, I might as well. Well, the fact of the matter is it's not yours. You didn't buy it. Most people won't rummage through it, but they'll see it happening and they won't say anything. You know, they say, in my mind, I'll go, you know, it's wrong. I'm not going to do it, but I'm not going to do anything about it. It's like, yeah, whatever. And then I rationalize by simply saying, well, you know, the guy's not going to come back for it anyway, so yeah, he might as well take it. You know, whereas you have the other person who just goes through it, says, you know, hell, look at this over here. Let me run through it. Let me kind of take stuff. It's funny because when people leave stuff out their sidewalk for the trash to come pick up, sometimes you see something that's perfectly good to you. Maybe it just might need small repair on it, but the person who's discarding it doesn't feel the desire to repair it. They just figure I'll just buy another one, or I'll never use it. I wasn't using it anyway, so I'll just leave it out there. I would go knock on the people's door and I just say, hey, I just see that you left that out on the sidewalk, and I'm just confirming that they're discarding it, and if they are, is it okay if I take a look at it? And they go, oh yeah, by all means, go ahead. But I'm still going to knock on their door to ask. When you think about the martial arts and it being in the wrong hands, that's one thing that I'm always wary of. I don't want to be responsible for teaching someone who is a bad person. And I think one of the things that we've done, maybe consciously or not, is that the bulk of our people who we teach, our members, are professionals and the kids of professionals. We have some younger people, but they might be college students or anything like that. I don't know if I particularly ask people why they come to us. They come and we talk to them, we kind of get to know them, kind of get the feel out that way, and then if they want to join, then we make the process easy. I have had people that I thought probably wouldn't be a good fit, and I would just suggest, maybe this other school, and I would name the school, this other school might be a better fit for you. Go ahead and check them out. Not if you don't think they're a fit or you think we're a better fit for you, then come on back and let me know. And I'm sure those people, they decided to go on over there. And it's not that I think that might be a bad person. I just don't think it's a good fit. And for us, it would not be a good fit for someone who wants to learn jiu-jitsu to learn how to fight. Maybe somebody like me or my friends who are now, many of them are black belts. They're old now, so they don't do that kind of stuff anymore. But the Gracies did that, right? Carlos Gracie Sr., famous for that newspaper article saying, if you want your arm broken and your ribs cracked, call me, Carlos Gracie. But just because they thought that way doesn't mean that I think that way. And you people, I see a lot of you do comments on the videos. Why do you do videos on the Gracie family? Because they're not a good family. And it's the Gracies that I met and I learned under were all good people. I don't have any problem with them. It's not their fault that they may have some family members who are maybe not the nicest people. But that's the same with any kind of group, though. You pick a group of people, and there's going to be some that are great and some that are awful, and a lot of people that are in between. I do think it's a problem, or it could be a problem, to have martial arts in the wrong hands. Just so you don't get it into people in the wrong hands, does that mean you don't teach it to the other people? No, you teach it to as many people as you can, because for the most part, the jiu-jitsu will do a good thing for them versus other people where the jiu-jitsu does a bad thing for them. The vast majority of people get benefit out of it and use it for good, for the betterment of them and their family and the people around them, than the few people who learn it to use it for evil. So until we have a system for being able to figure out who is going to be evil with it or not, it's really hard. I do think it's a problem, but I don't really have a solution to it. I teach people who would be my friends, and I don't have any friends that are criminals, so it's not like I'm going to be teaching any criminals, people who are going to use it for bad. So I hope that answered your question. Basically, you're just asking my opinion. That's my opinion on it. I hope that if you're in a situation where you know that the person you're teaching is probably somebody you won't teach, I'm hoping that you'll decide not to teach them. And I know a lot of people, they're under pressure to earn a profit and make some money, so they're more apt to take a student than to refuse a student. Thankfully, that wasn't really our situation, right? And we didn't really need to take more students, with the danger of having to turn the lights off. That never was our situation. I think by and large, we teach great people. There's not a member of our school, either campus, that I don't, like a lot. For those of you who run schools, I hope you don't have any problem where you're teaching some people that are not good. But I know that back in the day when I did it, there were a lot of people who did jiu-jitsu who just were not nice people. But being that I didn't run the school, I didn't really have any control of it. All I did was I had control over myself. Anyway, go ahead and be sure to subscribe and like this video if you like it, and share it if you like it as well, because that helps the channel out as well. And go ahead and click the bell so that you get any notifications of any new videos we do. And also, if you'd like to support the channel, which we'd appreciate because YouTube doesn't pay all that much for these videos, go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon link, or you can buy an official Kama Jiu-Jitsu t-shirt from the link as well. Anyway, that's all I have for you. Take care. Happy training. Bye-bye now.